Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone, and also the men who preach and teach the likewise doctrine to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I want to say salutations and shalom to all the Akim and few Akwath that may be listening. This is your brother Batakala Yahawada here from the GMS camp in Chicago. And I'm back at you with another video. And today I just want to talk about something that happened to me while I was at work last night. I work in the bars as a security guard and as a bouncer. And yesterday, the bar that I had to work at wasn't really too busy. So, we was just in there chilling. All the people that worked there was just socializing, interacting, having conversation. And it's a few women that work there. And I had a conversation with them and a couple of other gentlemen that worked there. And some of the things that the women were saying was, very revealing, I guess. And so just a little backdrop on how the conversation started. They ended up talking about some one of the gentlemen that worked there, who's the manager, was talking about some alternative lifestyle things that he didn't understand and that didn't make sense to him. And he was just asking the women to kind of explain it to him and give him an understanding, since he knows that they interact with those kind of people regularly. And of course, there is no explanation given. And as a matter of fact, when I chimed in, I told the individual, when they couldn't give an answer, I told them there is no answer for insanity. People that live that lifestyle are crazy and have demons on them. But what ultimately ended up happening was that I had made a comment stating that the only reason, and he was asking a question about alternative lifestyle women at this point in time, especially pertaining to the quote unquote butch lesbian, and just lesbians in general, because as far as the butch lesbian is concerned, a lot of them do that because they're unattractive and overweight, etc. But one question that he did have was that he didn't understand why attractive young women would deal with one of these butch lesbians and still use penis emulating devices when interacting in intercourse. And basically I had made the comment saying that the only reason that women do that, which once again it doesn't make sense and is an oxymoron. If you don't like men, why do you have a woman using a penis emulating device in intercourse with you? It doesn't make sense. It's an oxymoron. But like I said, I told them that the only reason that women pretend, because all those women that are quote unquote feminine lesbians, they all get rod from regular dudes. They just don't want to acquiesce and comply to the instructions that those men would put on them on a day-to-day basis. So because of the lack of wanting to follow instructions, it's easier for them to not have to be alone, because a woman can't be alone. They can't deal with that like a man can. And I'm talking about like go home and no one's there with you. That's why they always go out and they're always spending money and doing things, because they can't be alone. It's just not a part of their makeup. So I told them, like, look, the only reason they do it is because they don't want to follow instructions, and women don't like being alone. So since they don't want to follow a man's instructions, they have to find a woman that they know is not going to be able to regulate them. And then it's more like a partner. That's where the term partnership originally came from. These alternative lifestyle livers would refer to themselves as partners. But with the backdrop, now that I've given the backdrop, because I kind of been talking a lot, so Salakia for that, let me just get this first scripture. And this is Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O black backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Now, like I said, these women, and anybody that green lights this, even if they're not doing it themselves, first of all, most of these women out here have dibbled and dabbled in lesbianism. Okay, that's just the reality of it. I mean, a lot of these women, they interact in large groups with each other, and it's normalized now. So most of these chicks, they do it because it's what's cool, and that's how women are. They do what's cool. So most of these women are lesbians by the letter of the law, according to the scriptures anyway. But yeah, like they go off, they do this, and the reason that they are allowed to do it is because the man's authority has been usurped by the government. And when I say that, I know and I understand that those who control the government are males. I'm not going to call them men, because no true Edomite can be a real man, because to be a real man, you have to be the Lord has to be dealing with you and has to allow you to understand these scriptures. So if you're not in the position to understand these scriptures, it's just not possible for you to be a real man, which is why Edomites can't be real men, which is why none of these heathens can be real men, because the scriptures are only for Israelites. So that's why I call the people who are in charge of society, they're not men, they're males. They've changed the definition of what a man is, but the true definition of a man they can never be, so they're males. And even though those individuals are males, they've taken the authority away from who the real men by hereditary are. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, speckled bird and scattered Israelites also. They've taken the authority away from those men on a day-to-day level, to where they can't instruct their women. They can't preside over their women properly, because their women can always decide that they don't want to listen and then go deal with Esau. And Esau will give her a home. Esau will give her money. Esau will give her free food. Esau will give her an extremely low rate of rent. And Esau will also compensate her based on how many children that she produces, because he's going to take those children and put them through the ringer as far as the jail system is concerned, or just, using them as a regular slave out here in the world. Maybe one of them niggas end up dunking a basketball and they use him to generate money, and they give him a little 2% of it, and he think he doing his thing. But the authority has been taken away from the Israelite man on a day-to-day level. Okay, so let me get to this next scripture. We're going to go to here. Is this where I want to go? I think this is where I want to go. Salakia. Okay, this is 1 Thessalonians 5:3, and it reads, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." See, all of these women, they in the spirit of chilling. They think everything is kosher, everything is lovely. They got the ability to call the shots on it, and in their immediate surroundings, as far as dealing with individuals that's in their immediate surroundings, not higher level men, or Salakia, not higher level males, because like I said, none of these people that say that they're men are really men if they're not dealing with, Salakia, because you can't deal with you. If the Lord is not dealing with you, you're not a real man, okay? So all of these males, they've given these women a sense of security. They can call the police. They can do whatever they want to do, and whatever they say is going to be taken as validation and as verbatim and as fact, unless you have some type of hard evidence like video or correspondence history or something like that, photos. If you don't have any evidence like that to defend yourself, whatever this woman says in the court of law is what happened. Okay? So they chilling right now. Everything is good for them right now. They don't want anything to change. In fact, the main people that you see going to go get this jab are women, and then they take their kids and they make their kids get it. All right, but let's continue. Let me go to the next scripture. Now, Salakia 5. That was supposed to be 5. And what does that say? 15. Okay, there we go. So now to get, just before I go over this scripture here, the conversation ends after I say the instructions thing. The women have their little rebuttals, but they understand what I'm saying subconsciously, even if they don't want to admit it. So later down the line in the evening, one of the women that I'm talking with finds a video of one of these simp ass motherfuckers talking about real men are not ready for a queen, and that's the problem. It's not that women are doing anything wrong. It's that women are on a high level and on a higher level, and men just don't want to accept that, and that's why everything is the way it is. That's what this simp is saying in the video. And these women try to come and show me that and start calling themselves queens and all of that shit. So I asked them, do you know what the word queen really means? The original meaning of the word, the etymology of the word. And, you know, they don't know. So then one of these women end up thinking that they smart, and they try to go on Google and they just type the word queen in and read the definition that pops up first. And I told them, I told them, not that definition, the etymology dictionary definition of the word. And, you know, they don't comprehend what that is. So I end up getting the definition on the etymology online, and I showed them the definition, and I told them, look, queen means prostitute, hussy, hoe. Well, I ain't gonna say hoe, whore, low level individual, common person, you know, just a gutter rat basically. And I'm trying to explain this to them, and this is going back to the 15th century definition of the word, which would be, you know, 1400s and prior. So that lets you know that when Jake was using the word, when Jake created the word initially, because Jake is who was in charge in all of Europe at this time prior to the mid 1400s, when these Edomites started doing the Renaissance. And even into the Renaissance period, Jake didn't fully get taken out of power in the European continent until Oliver Cromwell took the remaining royals out of the British Islands. Okay, so really up until about the 1600s, the Edomite didn't really get full control of Europe. So when Jake was in charge and Jake was using the words, creating the language and dealing like that, the original creators of the language, because these Edomites, they was babbling like idiots in the caves prior to this. So they don't have no control over language all the way up until about the 1600s, man. Late 15 to the 1600s. All right, so I'll show her the definition. And before because I'm running on and I'm rambling, but it's for a reason. Now, notice that, because Jake didn't call none of his women queens when he was ruling in Europe. We didn't do that. We didn't put the woman on a level with the men. You know what I'm saying? She was still a lady of the court. She was still the king's wife. But the term queen was popularized by these Edomites, in particular the Edomites that took over the rulership of England and are currently ruling in England now. Okay, so they the ones that made it big to call themselves queens. And you know, it makes sense, because based on the original definition, that term would have applied to Edomite women. Because what you have to understand is that although a lot of these Edomites were in the caves, the royals who were ruling at the time were still, you know, going out on hunts and finding the ones that looked kind of good and cleaning them up and putting them in the chamber for a bed wench. Okay, so those were the women who they were referring to as queens. And it's only natural that when these animals get control over everything through the power of the Lord, through the Lord blessing them and giving them their blessing, that they would continue to refer to themselves as queens, because that's what they had been called all along. Okay, so let me get this scripture now, because like I said, and when I mentioned, because when they seen the definition, of course the spelling has changed. The new speech term queen is spelled differently than the original term, which was spelled Quean, and they tried to use that as trying to say I didn't know what I was talking about. And I told them, languages are evolving, languages change. Have you ever read a Shakespeare book in high school? There's plenty of words that they are words we still use today, but were spelled different when the text was written. You know what I'm saying? And the woman's response was, oh no, I don't be reading. And you know, she was laughing when she said it, but that she really meant that. Okay, now let me get this scripture. This is 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. See, these women are not privy to what the truth is. Why? Because the male Edomite has made it to where they don't need to know anything and they can be successful. Okay, really, a woman's success is based on, one, her ability to listen to the Edomite to how good she looks and how long her looks last. Okay, now the reason I said their ability to listen first is because there are some unattractive women that are still fruitful in this society, and the reason being is because they know how to listen to the Edomite. There are far less women that can take advantage of their looks to the point of being comfortable. All right. But like I said, they don't have to study. They don't have to read. OK. And I said this to a brother the other day, and I've been saying this even prior to when I was in the truth. So-called these women of the tribe, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American women, they're not oppressed. OK. Especially the Judite. The Judite woman has taken herself and created a whole nother demographic separate from everybody that's so-called black. OK. The Judite woman is not oppressed. None of these women of the tribes are oppressed. They are a key piece in this Edomite's ability to keep Jake down. They need them to be happy, and they need them to comply for this society to work. So they make sure that they taken care of. They don't have to go hungry. They don't have to go homeless. They get compensated for having bastards that end up fueling the prison industrial complex. All right. So they're taken care of. There is no oppression for no woman in this society. This is a society geared towards women. Let me get the next scripture. It's Old Testament. 7 and 10. All right. Now, let's just get this last scripture in before I close it out. Because like I said, these women, they don't understand it. All right. They think everything is cool. They are in really, this is Esau's kingdom, but this is really the woman's kingdom, because Esau, the males of Esau come in the spirit of a woman. Okay. So this is really a woman's world right now, because the Edomite thinks like a woman. The Edomite worships women. The Edomite pedestalizes women. And it makes sense because, you know, your average everyday Edomite can't really deal with no woman because of the way the Lord equipped them. All right. Your average everyday Edomite is not really being searched out by no woman unless they got some money in their pocket. So, of course, they're going to pedestalize the woman because they're not around them. All they do is can look at somebody that looks good. And really, a lot of you niggas come in that spirit now, too, because as the judges are over society, so are the people. OK, so really, the Lord has only blessed a select few individuals to see through this facade of these women anyway. But let me get the scripture now. This is Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is mine shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the streets. And even if you haven't heard a woman say this verbatim, where is the Lord thy God? They say it every day. When they green light homosexuality, they're saying, where is the Lord thy God? We don't believe nothing he's saying. These people can do what they want to do. We with it. OK, when they call the police on you and call Esau on you and bring Esau to come and slam the hammer on you niggas, that's the spirit that they coming in. Where is your God? Because their God is Esau. They can call Esau and he's going to show up and he's going to do their job. He's going to do what they asked him to do. So their God is Esau. What they think their God is shows up when they call him. OK. But see, they don't understand that the reason that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai hasn't showed up for us yet is because we fucked up. We supposed to be going through this. We supposed to be struggling based off of our actions in the past. So because they don't understand that we on punishment right now, they think that they just going to keep being able to disrespect the name of the Lord over and over again and think that he's never going to come and get that back. But you know, unfortunately for these women, as this says, man, they're going to be trodden down like shit in the streets. That's what mire means, shit. OK, and back in the ancient world, when horses and oxes and things like that were the main mode of transportation, as you know, those that have been around horses or other farm livestock, they tend to just shit wherever they at. OK, and then what happens? They step all in it. Other horses step in it, and it ends up getting caked into the ground. All right. And that's how you women are really going to be stepped on, man, because like I said, even if you're not physically fixing your mouth to say, where is the Lord thy God? Everything in your actions says it every day. Everything. Greenlighting homosexuality, not having the proper respect for the Israelite man who is supposed to be set up over you, according to the scriptures. You're not having the respect for them, okay? You don't have respect for none of the laws, statutes, and commandments. A lot of these women are 2 and 3 murders deep when we talk about abortions, okay? So it's going to be it's a big bill. These Edomites got to pay a big bill, but they done strapped y'all women with a big bill as well, okay? But with all of that being said, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone who risked their life in truth and sincerity to spread this word to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I want to give double honors to all of the men who may not be in the GMS camp but are preaching the likewise doctrine with truth and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to everybody that tuned in. Lord willing, we'll be back at you with another video. And until next time, Kwam Yasharala and Ababa Ball.